Chapter 6: The Fall of Control. Governments had long been built on hierarchy, control, and dependency. They thrived on division, using fear to maintain their grip on the people. For centuries, they dictated the rules: who prospered, who suffered, who held the power, and who remained powerless. But the movement changed everything. At first, politicians ignored it. They assumed it would fade, just another idealistic wave crashing against the immovable rock of reality. But the tide kept rising. People stopped fearing the things they were told to fear. They no longer fed into the endless cycle of outrage and control. They stopped relying on governments to solve problems. They had learned to solve themselves together. Local communities became stronger, self-sufficient. The need for bureaucratic oversight weakened as people simply took care of each other. Without division, politicians had no platforms to stand on. Without fear, corporations lost their grip on consumer dependency. Without greed, the structures that thrived on scarcity crumbled. It wasn't enterprising. There were no riots, no forced revolution. Governments didn't fall because they were overthrown. They fell because they were ignored. At first, lawmakers tried to regain control by issuing mandates designed to restore public reliance. They attempted to reassert power, but fewer people listened. The movement had already shifted priorities. People had learned that governance, as it had once existed, was unnecessary when communities functioned on trust and mutual care. The cracks deepened. Traditional economic systems, once fueled by consumption and excess, began to weaken. Money itself lost meaning when people realized value wasn't tied to wealth, it was tied to connection. Governments scrambled to hold on, offering reforms, concessions, anything to maintain influence. But it was too late. The world had already moved past them. The collapse wasn't sudden. It was quiet, slow, and undeniable. Within a generation, traditional power structures dissolved. Leadership still existed, but it was no longer sought after it was earned. Guidance came from those who served, not from those who sought control. The world had not crumbled, it had evolved. For the first time in history, humanity was free because they had chosen to be.